Joining us now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York. We had you booked here this morning for a number of things that you came here to talk about, including what's happening at the nation's airports. But let's start with this.
But such a tragedy, it's just it'd be irresponsible for any of us to speculate. We do go back 13, 14 months to what happened at DCA, and LaGuardia, like DCA, has so much traffic coming in and out of a very confined, small area. I'm just curious, generally, as they investigate, I'm curious about the number of air traffic controllers that we have right now. Are we still severely understaffed like we were 12, 13 months ago?
Let me just say my heart goes out to those who were killed. 2 pilots right in front. All the passengers, prayers. Horrible, horrible. And to hear the video, the audio, and then watch the video, it's just like a punch in the stomach. It leaves you gasping almost for breath. There have not been enough air traffic controllers. We've been fighting for more for a very long time. It's a difficult situation. They rearranged the airspace in New York a year or two ago because they couldn't have enough traffic controllers in one of the TRACOMs. But there obviously has to be an immediate investigation of what happened here. But there should be far greater scrutiny and attention to the shortage of air traffic controllers.
And that's been the case for how long?
Long time.
Long time, right? Yeah. I mean, people that are looking at this morning, they may blame it on what's happening with the TSA shutdown. It has nothing to do with that at all. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But this has been. It was one of the things that really concerned me during COVID. Yep. We had a lot of pilots quitting or being bought, taking the buyouts. We had flight attendants and other people. But people like you and others said, okay, that's bad. What really concerns us is how many air traffic controllers we're losing.
I've been pushing this for a long time.
Yeah. Let's talk about, let's move on to what's happening with the TSA. I flew this weekend twice into DCA on Saturday. Then I flew into LaGuardia yesterday. And all I could do is just thank the TSA agents. I sit there and I'm looking at them, understanding the economic suffering that they're going through, and yet so many of the majority of them still showing up. It's such a tragedy, and this is, unfortunately, this is the White House's answer. No, this is not what Americans want. Senator, I want to make this very simple for Americans that are watching right now. I want to make this very simple because I have seen some Republican senators try to cloud the issue. You and the Democrats have tried on 10 separate occasions.
That is correct.
To get paychecks immediately to TSA employees, to our Coast Guard, and to FEMA.
Right.
And 10 times, Republicans have voted no. They have voted to let our TSA agents keep working with no pay. Please explain to me who in the Republican Party thinks that not paying our TSA agents and killing that bill on the Senate floor time and time again, who thinks this is the best approach instead of paying the men and women who are trained to keep us safe?
Well, number one is Donald Trump, and number two is the spineless Republicans, even when they know he's wrong, who are afraid to buck him.
They know he's wrong.
And he's using these TSA agents who are dedicated people. We all know that. We see it. And it's not an easy job as everybody's rushing through. But he doesn't give a damn. He's using them and the passengers who wait online for hours and hours and hours as hostages to try and get something that no Americans want, which is, he says, I won't do it unless you stop asking to reform what's needed in ICE. And all we want in ICE, and we're demanding it, not just asking.
Oh, I got to stop you here.
Okay.
So you're telling me that Republicans are killing paychecks, going to our TSA to keep Americans safe on the ground and in the air because Republicans don't want basic ICE reforms that the overwhelming majority of Americans want, because the overwhelming majority of Americans are so offended by these mass deportation attempts that even the White House is saying, stop using those words.
Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. That's why they're doing it. There's no other reason. And we're not asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Just pay them.
We are asking, we say, pay these guys, and we can negotiate whatever you want on. We're not going to give in on fundamental things that every police department does. Identity. No, police don't wear masks. They don't wear them in Johnson's district in conservative Louisiana. And warrants. When you bust in someone's door, you've always had in the Constitution since 1789, you need a warrant. They're saying
documented or undocumented. If you're on American soil, it's called due process. It's
correct.
It's called the way policing is done in America.
And as Scalia says, you have constitutional rights. Mika showed me a video of the NYPD
taking a man
last
down.
week.
Yeah.
There was a guy that they thought had a bomb.
Yep.
The NYPD. There weren't 12 fat guys trying to
with guns out
push
and
somebody
phones
down.
out,
There was
with
one
masks
NYPD guy. He tackles him. He puts him to the ground. And then the next thing that happened was amazing. People came with phones. NYPD police surrounded, politely saying, please back up.
Putting their lives on the line.
Putting their lives on the line.
Yeah.
There may be an active bomb. But these NYPD officers are saying, back
greatest.
up, back up, back up. Hey, guys, come on.
Greatest.
Give us a little bit of space.
They are the
and do you
greatest.
know how they responded? They backed up. The people listened to the NYPD because they had the respect of the people.
Exactly, and they do. And so the ICE agents don't, because they don't obey the laws that are fundamental. And why are they doing this? Ask Stephen Miller. There are people, even in the Senate, some Republicans, they whisper, that's wrong. Well, stand up.
Stand up. To your point.
We need their votes. They know it's wrong, but Trump wants this group of thugs that he can send to one city after another. And here's one of our worries. They want to use them on Election Day to intimidate voters.
That is a big worry.
One of the proposals we've made, which they rejected, is that these ICE agents can't go within 500 feet of a polling place.
So to one of your points, let me bring everyone up to date. Punchbowl News has new reporting this morning on talks between Senate Majority Leader John Thune and President Trump to end the partial government shutdown. Leader Thune told the president that Senate Republicans would support funding all of DHS except ICE, and that funding for the agency could be handled later in a party-line reconciliation bill.
By the way, that's a winning political position that will help the Republican Party.
Thune reportedly told the president that Democrats would agree to that deal, but Trump said no, according to multiple sources.
You know what he said? He then said, instead of saying, that's very promising. And by the way, Mika, this shows the Republican senators what heat they're under because of the TSA agents, because of the
they
long
want
lines.
the TSA agents paid.
Exactly. And it shows heat, and he goes to a little late in my judgment, but he goes to Trump and proposes it. And you know what Trump says? We're not doing anything until we pass the SAVE Act.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Mr. Donald Trump, it ain't passing.
Okay.
It will destroy our democracy. We ain't doing it.
Jonathan Lemire.
Yeah, so I mean,
Good.
you jumped.
Picked up prompter for me.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you. You did right. He read the prompter. He's got another skill. So let's
the future.
Let's talk about these negotiations. We know the Democrats have made clear their thoughts on your position on Save America Act, but it does seem like there's a recognition from Leader Thune that this is not tenable at the nation's airports, and that some sort of deal needs to be struck. So can you take that and go to them now and try to work something?
Yeah, I met with our little negotiating team yesterday, and we are going to go back to them. We are ready to meet with them and show them that we can negotiate. The negotiations are moving along because they're mainly among
Republicans and Democrats in the Senate are agreeing, right?
We're agreeing on the basic
tenet.
basic
tenet is pay TSA.
I mean, there'll be
Guard.
details that have to be worked out,
right.
But when Thune did that, it's a step forward. But we got to get it done. Just letting now Trump say no won't be good enough. Just going forward doesn't pay the just telling Trump he ought to do it doesn't pay the TSA agents, doesn't get rid of the long lines. Now they could do it themselves. They could negotiate with themselves and say, go veto it if you want, Trump.